right, it's time for another beer, rum, and roll. Rock shot. This time we're celebrating Ozzy Osbourne's debut solo album, Blizzard of Oz. Okay, man, here's the lowdown on the album. Released September 20th, 1980. His first album since getting kicked out of Sabbath in 79. It's the first of two studio albums Ozzy recorded with Randy Rhoads, who died in a plane crash, as everybody knows, in 1982. The other album, of course, is Diary of a Madman. It went 4 times platinum in the US, sold over 6 million worldwide. It's Ozzy's best-selling solo album, so he came out of the gate fucking hard. Ranked number 9 in Rolling Stone's top 100 greatest metal albums of all time. Anyway, what did the album mean to you, man?
Randy Rhoads was in my top 2 rock guitarists on our podcast. So this album meant a ton to me. I was impressionable at that age when this came out. Randy had a huge influence on me, and this record means, I don't know, there's not many that top it for me in regards to the connection, you know, at that age, big time.
Yeah, you were not alone, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's the first time we heard this guy play. Mm-hmm. Like, it was incredible, right? It was blasting at every fucking car in my high school parking lot. That and Back in Black, maybe some Van Halen, maybe some Women and Children First, but it was a lot of Blizzard, like every lunch hour, you know. Yeah, it was huge. And for Ozzy, it was obviously a huge thing to find Randy, and fucking off he goes, right? Okay, let's get into the album, man.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about who played on it. So obviously it's Ozzy on lead vocals, Randy, as we just talked about, on guitars. You had Don Airey on keyboards, and he's played with so many. Rainbow, Whitesnake, Deep Purple. Mm-hmm. And Bob Daisley on bass, same thing. Gary Moore, Rainbow. This guy is, you know, played with a lot of A-listers. The thing about Daisley, though, that was really cool is he wrote almost all of Ozzy's lyrics, from Blizzard all the way up to No More Tears. So he's a phenomenal lyricist, like awesome. And on drums, Lee Kerslake, who unfortunately passed away on September 19th from prostate cancer at age 73. He used to play on Uriah Heep, and he was a great drummer, man. He wasn't on the tip of your tongue when you talked about great drummers, but as you and I know, Ozzy's first 2 solo albums, his drumming is phenomenal on both albums.
A lot of people thought, or at least I did at the time, that Ozzy's writing this shit, you know?
Yeah.
Because it seemed very much connected to him. Like the lyrics and the music really felt like Ozzy, you know? It was nothing like Black Sabbath. In a lot of ways. I mean, we get to bits of touches, but generally it was a whole new vibe. And you really felt like that was Ozzy.
But isn't that a credit to him? You know, like Geezer Butler wrote all the Sabbath lyrics, and Ozzy just kind of, he's an interpreter. He just kind of takes it on and kicks ass. And yeah, lyrics are not his thing, but he writes a lot of melodies, and Elvis was kind of like that. He didn't write shit, but man, he would take a song and interpret it and just, becomes Elvis, right?
Yeah.
Technically, according to the credits, it's produced by Ozzy, Randy, Bob Daisley, and Lee Kerslake. However, the engineer, Max Norman, was the producer. He's just uncredited. But yeah, he went on to work with Coney Hatch, Y&T, Lynch Mob. And let's just talk about the album cover, how fucking cool that is before we get into the tracks. Wicked. Cat, check. Skull, check. Cross, check. Horns, check. And Ozzy's wearing a fucking cape. Like, it's pretty cool. That's an iconic image, man.
Yeah, it really was about him, obviously. Ozzy Osbourne, solo album. He should be there, you know, no band, no nothing, just him. But it's creepier that way, way creepier, and he stuck to that plan. And I think he came out of the gate the right way there, too. He couldn't just come out as an 80s style rock god singer. He had to have that twisted edge that needed to be there, and they captured it nicely on that album cover.
Well said. They really did. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, man, let's blast through these tracks. So all songs written by Ozzy, Randy, and Bob Daisley, except for 2, and we'll get to that later too. Opening track, I Don't Know. Strong opener. I think it rocks. It's got a cool guitar riff off the top and the solo rips. And I am going to say that about pretty much every song. Great riff, great solo. Check. But yeah, it's a great opening track. Long story short.
Yeah. I kind of like how they fade it in real slow so that you have to turn up your speakers loud. Going,
is this thing on?
When is this going to happen? And then boom, the guitar comes in and you're like, what the fuck? And yeah, great. It was well done. The first track was a good first track.
Track 2, Crazy Train. The reason it sold millions of copies is this song. Let's face it, right?
Still sounds great.
It really does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vocals strong. Like Ozzy sings strong on this whole album, but this song in particular, he sounds great. And the solo from Randy again is just awesome, right? And the lyrics are great too. It's just great, great, great. And I personally, as overplayed as it is, I don't really tire of it. You know, it's played at every sporting event you watch, and it's so good. It doesn't bother me. That iconic I thing, it's cool as fuck.
You get no argument from me there. Again,
right?
I put Randy on a pedestal here, and anytime I hear him, I feel pretty damn sweet. So yeah, I'm not going to tire of it. That's for sure.
The pedestal's a good place for him. Yeah. The only I read this, and I didn't know this. The guy who replaced him in Quiet Riot, Randy and this guy were just kind of sitting around jamming, and this guy's playing the riff to Steve Miller's Swingtown. He's like playing it, and he's like, "Check this out when I speed it up. It's pretty fucking cool." And then Randy took that and fucked with it some more, and you got the Crazy Train riff. Like if you listen to it in Swingtown, it's similar, hey? But Randy just tweaked it and kind of did his Randy Rhoads thing, and it sounds fucking wicked. But I didn't know that till I read that. Yeah.
I have a really hard time feeling that's how music is created, but hey, man, if that's a story, that's a story, and whatever works, works.
No, it's
great.
It was a spontaneous moment. It's not like they planned it. It just kind of happened, right?
And not saying they do, but it's like, yeah, what, you know, I'm playing Swingtown and go speed it up. Oh, I got a new riff. I tend to go at a different tact myself, but it's interesting how music is created. And man, hey, however it's done, they did a nice job. That's all there is.
Yeah, if you end up with Crazy Train, it's all good, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, cut number 3, Goodbye to Romance. It's the ballad on the album. It was the first track written. Apparently it was Ozzy's way of saying goodbye to Sabbath. That's kind of the vibe on it. And it's a solid ballad. I don't love it, but I do like it. I know that's a wishy-washy review of that song, but yeah, it's all right.
I liked it a lot. Ozzy didn't do many ballads in Black Sabbath.
It's nice changes. That's it, right? Just changes.
Which is a gooder.
It is good. Yeah,
it is good.
Yeah.
But at that age, for me, I liked it. I'm a sucker for a bit of that emotional kind of shit, you know, big time. I don't need heavy all the time. I thought it was important that he had one on there because the world was shifting big time, you know. There was a lot of ballads yet to come.
The power ballad wasn't even a word at that point. Yeah.
That's correct. Exactly. So
right.
it has a special place for me too. The whole record does, but that song in particular, pretty cool.
You make a good point. It's nice to have different shades, different colors in terms of song styles. You can't have it full tilt the whole time. That's just boring. Okay, cut number 4 is D, and it's credited just to Randy. It's that tasty acoustic interlude. It's about 50 seconds long. Apparently D is short for Dolores, so it's a tribute to his mom. And I couldn't help but think, I don't know this to be true, but Eddie Van Halen on Van Halen 2 the year before did Spanish Fly, a little acoustic interlude. So I couldn't help but wonder if he was inspired by that and thought, hey, I'm going to do my own little acoustic thing. And it's very tasty. It's really cool.
And I don't know, Randy was always into classical music, and I think he really wanted to have his moment on here that was really off the charts different approach than what you'd expect on an Ozzy Osbourne record. But I was learning on a classical guitar because it was easier for me to press the notes at that age. Or when I started anyways. And so I was still playing classical at the time when this record came out. And to hear a guitar god like him put a track on a record with a classical guitar, I felt like this was a kinship that I can't deny.
Hey,
and I haven't since that day, right?
He made it cool for you, right? I mean, come on. Yeah.
And I was there with him, man, because I learned it very quick after that when I heard he's got a classical song. I'm like, that's the next thing I'm going to be learning. Yes.
Oh, teacher. Yes.
Yeah. Enough Leona Boyd. Enough Leona Boyd.
That's awesome. Enough Leona.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Now this is really cool too. So this acoustic classical interlude leads into one of the heaviest, darkest riffs at that time ever written, Suicide Solution. I mean, this song, is awesome. And when they do it live, it's Randy's big showcase solo song and he goes off, you know. I love this song. You?
Oh yeah. And I love all the drama around it. I love the lyrics.
Yeah.
Wine is fine, whiskey's quicker.
What a great line, eh?
It's great everywhere, every which way but loose, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course it had the controversy around it, like you said, a teenager in '84 shot himself while listening to this song, and they got to blame somebody. So let's blame Ozzy, and he goes to court, and he gets sued, and of course it was dismissed on the grounds of the First Amendment. But remember when that whole backmasking thing was all the rage? Like they said, if you played it backwards, it said, "Get the gun, shoot, 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 shoot." And like, as a rock star, as if you want your fans who are buying your merchandise and listening to your music, you want your fans to kill themselves. I mean, the whole thing was just preposterous, and it got dismissed, and so it should.
You write music the way you write music, not for any other intent and purpose other than to entertain and to
Totally
do your craft, man. That's what it is.
And I always say, man, you could play Neil Diamond backwards, and if you're open to hearing something fucked up, you're going to hear it. I mean, it's stupid. Okay, cut number 6, Mr. Crowley, another classic. Really cool keyboard intro from Don Airey. He wrote it in the studio, uncredited. There's that word again, uncredited. It's about occultist Aleister Crowley. He's a Satanist, I guess, right? Or whatever. Jimmy Page lived in his house for a while, if I recall. Another killer guitar solo, or actually 2 guitar solos. He solos on the outro too. Randy just kills it on this song.
Should have been track 1 for me. Love this song.
Yeah.
It really does speak to the darkness of Ozzy, which I always appreciated in Black Sabbath. And it was, hey, Ozzy's still that freak, you know. And
yo, he's a freak.
And this song, it was just a really great song for him to sing. Musically, it's perfect. It feels like it should be an opener, just with that intro, that keyboard intro. It feels like that's, to me, I would have liked to have flipped it, but that's just me.
That could have worked. I see that, man. Yeah. That's a cool thought. Yeah. Okay, track number 7, No Bone Movies. This is the second song that isn't credited to just Ozzy, Randy, and Daisley. You got Lee Kersley gets a writing credit on this one. It was supposed to be a B-side, apparently, and it sounds that way to me. It's okay. It's an okay track. It's the throwaway for me. If I had to gas one song on the album, it would be this one. But it's fun. It's about pornos. I can take it or leave it, though. It's okay.
I mean, I get the fun angle. You know, it's kind of
sure,
especially the content, the lyrical content.
Yeah,
I get it. But yeah, it was not a track that I really engaged with or wanted to listen to, like yourself. Yeah, whatever.
Right. You weren't taking that one to the guitar teacher. I want to learn this one.
No, and initially I probably had to ask, what the fuck is he singing about there? Because
what's a bone movie?
Well, I no bone movies, you know. No, just kidding.
Well, I probably didn't know what it was at first either. Actually, it's hard to remember.
Yeah, but it just didn't resonate with me at that age, especially. Right. Yeah.
Okay, number 8, Revelation, Mother Earth. This is the epic track on the album, and it is awesome.
Yeah.
More serious lyrically, it's about the environment and this kind of stuff. It starts out with a really cool acoustic guitar, mellow acoustic guitar off the top, and then at about 4.5 minutes, the heavy riff comes in, and Randy just solos to the end like a fucking madman, just a genius. And another thing I want to mention is Don Airey's keyboard. His piano work in this song is fantastic. Again, uncredited. It's a wicked song. It's the epic on the album, and it's worthy of being called an epic. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that and Crowley are epic songs for me on this record. They just have that. They have that bit of classical vibe that Randy has brought to the table. Iommi is a riff rocker, and wrote plenty of hard, heavy riffs. Randy writes some riffs, but he incorporates this, I don't know, a bit more of an emotional connection and the classical connection, and it just has a bit more epicness to it all, you know?
Well, isn't that what's so cool? This does not in any way sound like a Sabbath album. And that, to your point, that is what's really awesome about it, really.
Yeah, and tribute that to Randy, because...
Absolutely. Yeah, totally, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, track number 9, the last track, Steal Away the Night. I like it. It's a good closer. It's a good straight ahead rocker. I dig it. Great way to end the album.
I don't dislike it. I mean, it's a bit more of a poppy rocker for Ozzy.
Yes. Yeah.
But sure, he showed a lot of sides here, right? Ballad, poppy rocker,
Exactly.
hippie song, epic. I mean, it's everything. Everything is here. Everything is here.
And that's why it's interesting. It's not boring
No.
because of that, right?
Yeah.
You know, you think of Ozzy at that point. He was down and out. Sharon put him in that hotel room and he's all fucked up and he thought it was over. His career's over. And when he started doing this album, he, like, Sabbath had released Heaven and Hell like about 5 months before this came out. So he was chasing them, right, in a way. And can you imagine how he felt releasing this and it goes through the roof after getting kicked out of that band? He must have felt fucking great. Like, fuck you guys, right? See ya. Like, it must have felt really good for him to get his shit together and put an album together like this. That's as good or better than Heaven and Hell. I love Heaven and Hell, by the way, but it didn't come close to this one in terms of sales or anything like that. So
no, and I think that the concern for Ozzy was the years of punishment and abuse and whatever. You become a bit weak. But we all knew,
right,
at least, and certainly in hindsight, you expected great things from this guy, and he's delivered for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I'm not so sure that everybody expected it. I'm not sure. I think it shocked a lot of people how good this was. And to your point, it's Randy Rhoads is the reason, right?
True.
But he must have just loved that. I'll show you fuckers what's what.
Oh, fuck. He had a good night that night.
Yeah, he did. Oh,
Yes.
now I don't want to end on a downer, but we have to talk about this. So we're mentioning all this uncredited stuff. So in '86, Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake sued Ozzy for unpaid royalties on these songs, right? So they eventually got writing credits. Like, if you look at the credits now, they're in there. But in 2002, because of all this, because Ozzy and Sharon didn't want to pay, they redid Blizzard and Diary, replacing all the bass and all the drums. Mm-hmm. So Ozzy's band at the time, Mike Borden was playing drums and Robert Trujillo was playing bass, and those guys replaced those tracks. Mm-hmm. And it just speaks to the level of fucking greed that can happen, right? Because Ozzy and Sharon, they're multi-millionaires. Why can't you just give these guys what you should give them? They wrote the songs. Like, it's really sad what happened there. And the fans freaked out and they rectified it eventually. But it's really sad that level of greed can take over somebody.
And I'm assuming, but I'm very much convinced that this was Sharon's idea to capitalize.
Yes.
And I'm very disappointed in that. But almost as importantly, I'm very disappointed in anybody that would want to participate in that process.
They're working for him too.
Yeah, but you know, but the whole point is that if they do that to them, they're going to do that to you. That's it.
It's just funny because, yeah, to your point, like Sharon said, "Oh, Ozzy wanted it," and Ozzy says, "Well, that was all Sharon's idea." I think if you want to tip the scales, yeah, it's 70-30 her. But he could have stopped it. He knew what was going on.
But if she wasn't there, this wouldn't have happened. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, of course. If he wasn't there, this album wouldn't have got made. He'd be in his hotel room still.
There is that.
So it took 9 years, but they did rectify it. They re-released both those albums as they should have. And this badass box set I have right here. Look at the polka dots, Beau. You like the polka dots?
Yeah, I don't know what that's in reference to at all.
So it's got both, it's 180 gram vinyl in there. It's got an awesome book. I can quickly show you. It's got DVD footage, which we've all seen, but it's as good a quality as you're going to get. I didn't dog ear, but I marked this page because, well, you're wearing it. Mm-hmm. Got it on a t-shirt. Mm-hmm. Anyways, yeah. Awesome box set. It's even got an Aussie cross in it, Beau. Let me just see if I can find it here for you.
Why don't you
Should've-
wear
I
it on
should've
the
put it
next
on.
podcast? Yeah, exactly. Put it on. Look
Got
good on
OZZ
you.
engraved in it. Look at that.
And yeah, and then put the Metallica sweatband armbands on, and then you can just deck yourself right out.
And maybe some Kiss makeup.
Yeah, okay. And the boot. And the boots.
And the food. Yeah, yeah. One thing I do want to mention is it's got a 30-year anniversary documentary in it, because obviously this is older. OZZ just put it on his YouTube channel, so you can watch this documentary. It's really good. The part I really like is Kevin Churko, who produced Scream for OZZ. He sits with OZZ at a mixer, like the one behind you, and they start listening to the raw tapes. And instead of a track fading out, you hear, you know, Randy like continue to play. Like, you want to hear more Randy Rhoads? Watch this, man. He just goes off after the fade, and it's awesome to hear. And Ozzy's just like, oh my God, I haven't heard this since they recorded it. It's pretty moving, actually, watching him listen to this stuff. It's really cool.
I've seen the footage, and I find it amazing that Ozzy remembers much, because when you damage yourself
for various reasons,
for that much over the years, your memory is just not there.
Right.
But you believed it, because I think that was just a very, very heavy part of his life. And I think he got pushed back there. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because you could see it. You could feel it. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I think so. Yeah. Anyway, it's a fucking metal classic. It's awesome. It still holds up. It still sounds great. Anytime a track from this album comes up on my random, you know, shuffle, it's not like I'm hitting skip. It sounds great. Right? Yeah. I'm not skipping anything.
Yeah. And it's really worth listening to the whole record. Like, I mean, yeah, we all got our favorites on the album, but you know, I try to do this. I've been buying a lot more vinyl lately, and and I have this record on vinyl, is to just go back and listen to that stuff the way they put together records back in those days, and hearing it all in kind of a flows type situation. This is a good one to do.
Yeah.
Because like we said, it's chock-a-block full of
it. Really is chock-a-block, yeah. And I'm always going on about how albums are too long, and this is case in point. 9 tracks, in and out, all awesome. I don't want 16 tracks if half of them are fucking eh.
Yeah.
That is the problem with CDs. Albums I loved because they were nice and concise, and they were all killer, no filler, usually, right? Okay, man. Anything else you want to say on Blizzard of Oz?
No. I'm going to go get on a crazy train, say goodbye to romance. Forget it. And play a D chord.
Play a D chord. Before we go, this is my text tone. What can I say? Yeah. That says it all, buddy. Okay, man.
All right.
Everybody like, subscribe. Let us know what you think of the album, any memories you have buying it, all that good stuff. We want to hear from you. So bring it on.
Right on, man. And we're going into blizzard season here in Canada, so good time to scratch this one out. Let's go. OZZ rules. So does Rhodes. Let's go.
That's right.